A poor black waitress quit her dream job to save a lost child. She had no idea his father owned half the city. The Friday night service at Velour was the kind of controlled madness that turned good waitstaff into legends. Simone had been a legend for 3 years. 3 years of 6-day weeks. 3 years of memorizing tasting menus, managing difficult tables, and smiling through exhaustion so deep it lived in her bones. All of it, every double shift, every skipped lunch, had been building toward one thing: the floor supervisor position. The promotion that meant she could finally stop choosing between her electric bill and her mother's medication. Tonight, her manager was supposed to give her the answer. She was so close she could taste it. At 8:52 p.m., Simone was clearing table 11 when she heard it. Small, distant, almost swallowed whole by the soft piano and the laughter of wealthy diners. A child crying, not the sharp, demanding cry of a tantrum, something quieter and far worse. The sound a child makes when they have been frightened for so long that screaming no longer feels worth it. Before we continue, tell us in the comments what time it is and where you are watching from. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's get back to our story. Simone set the plates down. There, wedged between the tall decorative screen, near the entrance hallway and the wall, nearly invisible to every elegant guest brushing past him, was a little boy. 5, maybe 6 years old. Sandy brown hair matted against his wet face. A small charcoal blazer, clearly dressed for an important evening. Shoes that cost more than Simone's weekly take-home. Eyes that looked completely, utterly abandoned. She was on her knees in front of him before she made a conscious decision to move. Hey, look at me. I see you." She kept her voice low and even. "What's your name, sweetheart?" The boy swallowed hard. "Eli." "Okay, Eli. My name's Simone. Are you lost?" He nodded, a full-body thing, the kind only a frightened child produces. Then the words came. Fragmented, breathless, completely honest. "We were at our table, me and my dad, and he said tonight was really special because he never brings me to his work dinners. He's always too busy. But tonight he said yes." Eli stopped to pull in a jagged breath. And then his phone rang. The loud one, the important one. Simone's chest tightened. Then what happened? His face went scary. Not mean scary, just wrong scary. Like when something really bad is happening. And he stood up and he was talking, but quiet loud, the way grown-ups do. And then he walked toward the door, and I thought he was coming right back. Eli pressed both fists to his eyes. He didn't look back. He forgot I was there. He said it without bitterness. That was the part that wrecked her. Just the plain, bewildered grief of a child who had finally been chosen, and then wasn't. "I waited," Eli whispered. "I waited a really long time. And then I got scared and I went to look for him, and I couldn't find him anywhere, and I didn't know where I was." Simone pulled him in. She held this stranger's child like she had known him his entire life, rubbing slow circles on his back, whispering, "I've got you, you're safe. I've got you," until his breathing came back down from the edge. For the next 20 minutes, she moved through Velour with Eli's small hand locked around 2 of her fingers, asking every staff member she passed. A few remember a man and a young boy seated earlier. No one had noticed when the boy wandered off. No one had thought to check. Eli could only tell her 2 things about his father: that his name was Daddy, and that he drove a very, very big black car. At 9:19 p.m., Simone's manager found her. Derek was the kind of man who wore authority like a second skin, mid-40s, perpetually pressed, the sort who communicated urgency through silence rather than volume. He stopped in front of her with the controlled stillness of someone making a significant effort not to raise his voice. "Simone." A single word carrying a paragraph. She stood slowly. "Derek, let me explain. You have been off the floor for 26 minutes. He glanced at Eli, then back to her. His expression didn't shift. "There is a front desk. There is a phone on it. There is a procedure. He's been alone and terrified. Table 15 has been waiting 18 minutes for their mains. Table 4 requested you by name and left." He paused. "And I have been standing outside my office waiting to finalize your promotion." The word landed with the weight he intended it to carry. "This is your final opportunity, Simone. Return to the floor. Now." She looked down at Eli. He had gone perfectly still, watching the two adults with wide, glistening eyes. And then, quietly, without a word, he reached up and wrapped his small hand around two of her fingers. Just held on. Something locked into place in Simone's chest. "No." Derek's chin lifted slightly. "I beg your pardon. I said no." Her voice was calm in a way that surprised even her. "I'm not leaving him standing here alone. He is 6 years old, and he is terrified, and I don't care what procedure says. If I walk back onto that floor right now, and something happens to this child, I will never be okay again. So if that costs me this job," she met Derek's eyes steadily, "then it costs me this job." The silence between them had texture. Derek straightened. "Then we're done here." He adjusted his cuffs, turned, and moved back through the dining room without looking back. Simone exhaled slowly. She looked down at Eli. He was staring up at her like she had just performed something impossible. "Come on, baby." She crouched down. "Let's go find your dad." She turned and patted her back. "Hop on." He climbed up without a second's hesitation, wrapped his arms around her neck, pressed his damp cheek against hers, held on tight. She carried him through the front doors and out into the cool night air. And that was when everything changed. He was standing at the open rear door of a black Bentley Mulsanne, phone to his ear, the expression of a man managing a crisis in real time. Late 30s, possibly early 40s. Dark charcoal suit that wore like a second skin. Silver cufflinks. Jaw set like architecture. The kind of presence that arrived in a room before the person did. And the moment his eyes found the boy on Simone's back, every bit of that composure collapsed. "Eli." The word came out in pieces. Not a billionaire's voice. A father's. Eli's head snapped up. "Daddy." He was off her back and running before she could react, crossing the entrance steps in 5 strides and colliding with his father's legs with everything he had. The man went down, both knees on the pavement, suit and all, and wrapped his arms around his son with a ferocity that looked like it was meant to make up for every minute of absence at once. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry," over and over into the boy's hair, like a confession he needed to finish. Simone stood on the steps, apron still tied, promotion already gone, and felt her eyes fill. She gave them their minute. When the man finally rose, Eli still locked around his neck. He looked at her. And Simone looked back at him with the specific calm of a person who has already lost the thing they were most afraid to lose. "Where were you?" she asked. He blinked. He was not accustomed to the question. "Your son was alone inside that restaurant for close to 30 minutes. He was hiding behind a partition because he didn't know what else to do. He was so frightened he stopped crying." She held his gaze. "So I'm asking, where were you?" The man absorbed this. Then something in his posture shifted, quietly, like a building settling. "Singapore deal," he said. $42 million. Closing tonight. I stepped out for 2 minutes. I told him to stay at the table. He stopped. He's 5. "I know," Simone said. 5-year-olds don't stay. They follow the people they love. His jaw moved. "Whatever closed tonight," she continued, and her voice came down just slightly, "is never worth more than him not knowing whether you're coming back. That is a feeling a child carries." He didn't answer. He pressed his son closer instead. "I'm Dawson," he finally said. "Dawson Croft." "Simone." He asked what had happened inside. She told him everything. The floor, the crayons, the 26 minutes, Derek, the 3 years, the promotion she'd been chasing since before she could clearly remember wanting anything else. Dawson was quiet for a long moment. "You gave up your job," he said slowly, "to stay with him. He needed someone to stay. Why?" His voice was genuinely searching. "You didn't know him." Simone glanced at Eli, finally still, face resting against his father's shoulder, eyes closing. "Because he held my hand," she said. "And I wasn't going to be the person who let go." She didn't expect anything to follow. She went home, sat on the edge of her bed in her uniform, and gave herself 10 minutes to grieve the years, the exhaustion, the particular loneliness of doing the right thing and still finishing behind. Then she washed her face, made tea, and opened her laptop. She was mid-application when her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost let it go. It was Dawson. He spoke for 7 minutes. He had already reviewed her employment history, her customer ratings, her 3 years of documented performance at Velour. He had interests across hospitality, 6 properties across 3 countries, including a flagship in the city that had just lost its general manager. The role carried a salary of $195,000. Benefits, a housing allowance, a direct team of 64. That's not a job, Simone said carefully. That's an entirely different life. Yes, Dawson said. It is. You've earned it. I'm just the one calling instead of making you wait. She asked for 48 hours. She called back in 5. On her first morning at Croft Grand, she found something on her new desk, a folded piece of paper. She recognized it before she opened it, the texture, the faint printed lines. The back of a restaurant order pad. In uneven, crayon-pressed letters, a child's careful hand. Dear Simone, thank you for not going away. Eli. And below it, in a grown man's precise script. The deal closed. It meant nothing. You reminded me what does. D. Simone set the note down. She looked out at the city below, wide, golden, unhurried. Then she straightened her blazer, sat down, and got to work. Drop a comment below. What time is it where you are, and what made you click on this story? We'd love to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.